Jemai, I'm Dr. Kitty Deal, and this is an introduction to social stories. Let's talk a little bit about social skills. As we know, it's so important for all children, with and without disabilities, to get along with their peers. This is a critical skill in the community, the school, the classroom, the family, and in one-to-one interactions across all settings. Carol Gray introduced and has been working with social stories for decades. She explains a social story has information that describes a situation, a skill, or concepts in terms of relevant social cues, perspectives, and common responses in a specifically designed style and format. Social stories may be used with children as a way to learn about and use appropriate social skills. Learning to write a social story is a fabulous tool for your teacher toolbox. This project will help you practice an evidence-informed strategy as you collect pre and post data on its effectiveness. For this assignment, we'll use a simplified version of the strategies created by Carol Gray. Social stories have been used for decades because they work. They can be a very effective tool. In this project, you'll make observations of a group of children and consult with your host teacher to identify a social skill needing improvement. You will write a story and/or create a video for use in the classroom. You will use the story and observe to see if the story has an effect on the children's understanding and implementation of the social skill. The goal is to present accurate social information in the form of a story to help children understand what's going on around them. Social stories can be used with any child who needs help with social skills or social situations. It's an effective tool for children with autism because they may not be able to pick up on the social nuances and social cues of a particular situation. So I'll share an example from Mary Gray's new social story book called Getting My Turn to Talk in Class. There are many students in a classroom who like to talk. It is hard for a teacher to hear one student talk if everyone else is talking too. Many times it's important for one person to talk at a time. In a classroom, people need to take turns talking. When I want to talk to the teacher in class, I will try to raise my hand and sit quietly. Sometimes the teacher will call on me to talk. I may have to wait for my turn to talk. If I want to talk to the teacher during class, I will try to raise my hand and wait for the teacher to call on me. So let's think about that story. Notice that the situation is described, feelings are identified, and the child is encouraged to try to respond in a socially acceptable way. Notice that the story is positive, does not use punitive statements, and the story is not directive. The story has instructions with pictures that are appropriate for young children. So for this assignment, you will use either clip art or open access pictures. This allows you to maintain confidentiality for your class. When you're a teacher in your own classroom, you can personalize the story with photographs of the children or of a specific child who needs to use the story. As you develop your story, please double-check the assignment rubric to know the criteria by which you will be assessed. Check the story to be sure it's not just a visual checklist and that it does not use punitive statements, metaphors, or analogies. In Blackboard, carefully review the provided resources on social stories to deepen your understanding about the specifics of writing and using a social story. Additionally, look at the provided timeline, due dates, examples, and assignments to stay on track this semester. Enjoy developing a new tool for your teacher toolbox.